Aleph. دارش ربی یهودا به ربی نخمانی میترجمانه در اشلاقش. Like 15 lines from the bottom, the first word leisre. We're going to talk about the keshet. We said one of the things in the Mishnah, you cannot gaze at keshet. What is keshet? Rainbow. Jonathan, you have it? Okay. Darash, make it Darasha Rabbi Yehuda, and the son of the Rabbi Nachmani, the Turgeman, the translator of the Resh Lakish. Kol hamisakel b'sholosha devarim, whoever gaze at three things, enav kehot, he's gonna lose some eyesight. Bakeshet, one of his rainbow, one of his uman nasi, to the nasi. Who is the nasi? Yaakov, who is the nasi? Okay, nasi. Uva kohanim, the kohanim. So now Gemara explains why. Bakeshet, if somebody look at the, basically not look, gaze at rainbow, is gonna lose his eyesight, he's gonna get punished. Dichtiv, kemare hakeshet, asher yihye be'anan b'yom hageshem. Hu mare demut kevod Hashem. So it seems like from the pasuk, there is certain kedusha, something like the glory of the Hashem inside the keshet. That's why you cannot look at it. Banasi, the leader of the community, those that have the nasi those days, dichtiv, the pasuk says, when the Torah says to Moshe Rabbeinu, you should choose Yehoshua bin Nun to become nasi to the Jewish people. V'natata mehodecha alav. The Torah says to Moshe Rabbeinu, take from your hod, your glory, and put it on the Moshe Rabbeinu. So you see certain kedusha goes inside the nasi. Over here we're talking about from Moshe Rabbeinu to Yehoshua bin Nun. And then said at the end, Hamistakel ba kohanim. This is when the kohanim, they go to Duchan, you cannot gaze at him, at them. Bizman shebet hamikdash chayam, at the time we had the Bet hamikdash, shahayu omdim al duchanan ubarachin et Yisrael b'shem hameforash. They used to stand up, give the bracha, they stand on the steps, Duchan means the step, on the steps, and give the bracha to Jewish people in the Shem hameforash. They really pronounce the name of Hashem clearly all the way. Okay? That's how they did it. So that's basically we learned today 3 pesukim or 3 ways to explain why there's 3 things you cannot take a gaze at, and it's going to be asur. Gemara goes further and brings more darasha from Rabbi Yehuda ben Nachmani. Darash Rabbi Yehuda ben Rabbi Nachmani miturgemene der Ashlagish. My dichte, what does the pasuk mean about Micha, one of the Nevi'im, giving tochacha, rebuke to Jewish people? He says over there, al ta'aminu bereya al tiftichu be'aluf. Yeah, what does it mean? What does the pasuk mean? Im yomar lecha yetzer hara chato. Let's say yetzer hara comes to you and say, you know what? Do avera. You're going to do teshuvah later. Don't worry about it. Do whatever you want to do. Enjoy. You're going to do teshuvah later. And Hashem going to forgive you. Okay? Al ta'amen. Don't trust him. Don't listen to him. Why? Shenemar al ta'amen bereya. You should not trust the reya, the bad. Ve'en ra ela yetzer hara. What's called bad? Yetzer hara. Shenemar, how do we know? We have a pasuk in the Bereshit, ki yetzer lev ha'adam ra min urav. The yetzer of the person inside the heart is bad. So Yetzer Hara is called Ra, bad.
How to understand?
Why?
Rea means friend.
Okay. 1 second. What's the let's see. What's the translation of pasuk?
אל תאמינו ברע, אל תתמכו באלוף.
Once again. Al ta'amin bereya. What does Reya mean?
Shot? Your friend.
No, in that pasuk. The pasuk of the Bereshit. Let's look at the pasuk. Let's get the Chumash. Bereshit Chet, huh? No, you're right. That's a. So get the. Yeah. You have the pasuk, but you don't have the translation. No, I think this one is not in the Chumash. It's this one in the Micha. Get the Micha. This is Navi. Huh? No, get the Hebrew one. Go over there. Let's see what the pasuk is talking about. Marsha asked your question. Marsha says, what does these two has to do with each other? He says the fact, the pasuk, write the rea without the yud, it means you have to do darasha on the word rea. It means ra. Why it should be written without the yud? Usually rea is a friend. It should be written with the yud. Over here without the yud. But some others argue with the marsha. That's why it is. You got the Micha? Yes, yeah. Let's see. All right. Okay, where's the pasuk? Micha Zayin He. It says Al Ta'aminu Bereya. What does it mean, Al Ta'aminu Bereya? So it says, Mesudat David, you should not trust your friend. That's what Rea means over here. Right. That's so that's what it says over here. Also, let's see what about the. That's what I mean. So the wow, even from his time, you couldn't trust your friend. Imagine now. Very nice. Okay, let's go to Mefarashim. As mentioned to the Maharsha, Maharsha says because it's written without the yud. So let's see if anyone else talks about this. I don't have anybody else. I have the Maharsha here, and that's it. Okay, I don't know. A good question. That's what the Maharsha says. Okay, we go further. It goes further and it says, "Shenemar ki eselev hadam ra min urav ven aluf el hakadosh baruch hu." The pasuk says you should not basically have trust in the aluf. In the pasuk over there, aluf means somebody very in a high rank in the government. You should not trust them. Gemara make a darasha when aluf el hakadosh baruch hu is referring to Hashem aluf. Shenemar It says in the Yirmiyah Hanavi, when the Navi, prophet comes and give the tuchacha to the Jewish people because they are worshipping, they're doing avodah zarah. He says over there, aluf ne'arai ata. What does it mean? He says, Navi says to Jewish people, who should be your master, your aluf, that you have to listen to, should be Hashem. So therefore, he wants to say the Hashem called aluf. So what has to do with the over here? How does it goes together? So beginning of the pasuk says you should not trust Reya Ram Yetzeharam. So aluf is Hakadosh Baruch Hu. So how do you put inside? Al tiftechu be'aluf. Aluf and Melech. Melech just Melech. Aluf could be anybody. Somebody high rank in the government. Melech is just king. They were high level, like in Nasi. That's the high they were. They were Aluf could apply different ways, not only the king. So now what is it?
The Aluf of Ishmael, they were not kings.
Not necessarily. They were very strong people. Right. Yeah, could be leader, yeah. So now what does it mean? Al Tamin Bereya, Al Tamin, you should not trust your Sehara. Al Tiftechu Be'aluf, don't think, don't rely on me that I'm gonna forgive you. So we were talking about somebody who does Avera, and he says, you know what, I'm gonna do Teshuvah later. So says Gemara, it's not gonna work that way. You cannot do go Avera and you say, you know what, Hashem gonna forgive me. That's not gonna work. Because you're not gonna get there. As we mentioned before, Hashem doesn't even give him opportunity to do Teshuvah. So Gemara goes further. So Gemara goes further and he says that how a person could stop himself from doing Avera and not get tricked by the Yesehara. He says, Shema Tomar mi me'id bi. Maybe you're gonna say, who's gonna see me? Who's gonna testify that I did Avera? I'm gonna close the door, I do whatever I want to do, and nobody's gonna see me. How do you know Hashem sees you? So Gemara says, it's a famous Gemara. Avnei beto vekorot beto shel adam hem meidim bo. It says the stones of the house and the beams of the house, they're gonna come and testify on that person, what he did in the house. Shenemar, we're talking about the nevuah, the prophecy that's brought on the Nebuchadnezzar, that Nebuchadnezzar is gonna get destroyed. He says over there in Chabakuk Hanavi, Ki even mikir tizak bechafis me'es ya'anena. That he's talking about the stones of the wall in the house. They're gonna cry out. And chafis me'es ya'anena. What does chafis mean? Piece of wood. Is gonna basically, they're gonna say, what does it mean? How does it work? What's the meaning of this pasuk? It means that these pieces that were stolen, they're gonna cry out to Hashem, we are stolen, and please give us back to our original owner. That's what it means. Chachamim, they say in the Michai, we got let from the pasuk the Michai again. Nishmato shel adam meidabo. The neshama of a person is gonna come and testify against the person. How do we know? It says Shenemar in the Micha Zayin. Hey, the same pasuk? Yeah. Wow. Same pasuk. It says Mishochevet cherecha shemor pitche ficha. I think the simple understanding is the person is laying down next to you, should keep yourself, watch yourself, the way you talk. Right? That's what it means, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see the pasuk. The same pasuk. Mishochevet cherecha shemor pitche ficha. What does it mean? How does it work? He says over here, anytime you read the Navi, there are two easy translations you could use: Mesudat David and Mesudat Sion. He says over here by pasuk Zayin, Mishochevet cherecha. He's talking about your wife sleeping in next to you. Be careful, don't tell her everything. Okay? There are certain things you should not tell your wife. And the wife should not tell the husband. Same thing. But the husband also, the same thing, should not tell your wife, because she is going to go and tell other people. Even your wife sleeping next to you and you trust her, you should not tell her everything.
From this pasuk, you cannot trust anybody.
Huh?
Not your friend, not
Right,
your wife.
right, exactly. You cannot trust anybody. Right. So now, what Gemara learns from here? We want to say, Mishochevet cherecha, the one who is sleeping next to you, laying down next to you, is talking about neshama. Your neshama, he is going to be the one who is going to tell people about you. Which people means Hashem. After 120 years, who are going to come testify against you? Your neshama. That's the closest things to you. You see how deep the pasuk could go? You think you're talking about only your wife? Gemara learns this pasuk talking about your neshama. Rabbi Zerika Amar Shene Malacha Ashoret Hamelavin Oto. Rabbi Zerika says, or said, that two malachim, they would escort people to, basically, we have to have two malachim next to us all the time. That's why it is. That's why the Gemara says, when you need to go to the bathroom, you should say a sentence before going to the bathroom to the malachim to wait for me. I'm going to come back. And also Shulchan Aruch talks about this. Why we don't do it these days? Because we don't want to say we are a tzaddik. The malachim are next to us. But usually a person has two malachim next to him. Hen meidim bo. These two malachim, which is with us all the time, they're going to testify against us after 120 years. They're going to say everything what we did. That's what it is. And how do we know that two malachim, two angels are next to us to protect us all the time? Shene'emar, the pasuk says, Ki malachav yesavelach lishmorcha bechod derachecha. The pasuk says that when this pasuk is in Tehillim, if I'm not mistaken. The Yoshe Beseter Elyon, Tehillim 91, exactly. 91, the Yoshe Beseter Elyon, over there. Okay, over there says that the two, the malachim that are with you to keep you and watch you in any way you go. V'yesh omrim, evarav shel adam meidim bo. Some they said the limbs, the part of the body of the person, they're gonna come and testify against the person after 120 years. Shene'emar, how do we know? It says in Yeshaya, Ve'atem edai neum Hashem ve'ani el. So Ve'atem, he said, you are you, in plural way. You are you testimony for me, which is, Gemara wants to say, is going on your evarav, your evarim. That a person has different parts of the body, they're going to come and testify on the person after 120 years. Okay, it's very scary. How it's going to be. Now we're going to tell Zayin, we got to Mishnah Bezat Hashem. That Mishnah finished. We're going to get to new Mishnah, 4 lines from the bottom in Tet Zayin Amud Aleph. Now we're going to back to the track now. to the Chagiga. Until now, we were off track. We're going to go to Korban Chagiga and other Korbanot that you have to bring on the Yom Tov. That how you bring it, how you do it, huh? Yeah, the part is finished. All the inyan, the whole concept of the Rabbi Akiva, Acher, all these things, they go to Shamayim, finished. Now we're going to go into something you never heard before. Maybe you never heard before. So let's see. He says in the Mishnah, some they say Yossi, some say Yosef. Ben Yoezer Omer, Shelo Lismoch, that you should not lean. We're going to see what it means. Yosef ben Yochanan Omer Lismoch. You should lean. Now, I should explain to you, there is a certain process of the korbanot. You need to lean on the animal. Okay? Very good. On the head of the animal, you want to bring a korban. Now, you need to do it. We're going to see how you should do it.
Is there a why?
Huh?
Will you answer why you need to do it?
I don't know. Let's see. We could figure it out. Now, the question is, are you allowed to do it on Yom Tov or not? That's the question. Okay? So, usually when he says semicha, people think about the rabbanut. Become a rabbi, you got the semicha and you got to become a rabbi. Over here, it's the semicha, lismoch, we're talking about leaning on the animal. And basically, Yosef and Yoezer says you cannot do it on Yom Tov. You should do it before Yom Tov. Because on Yom Tov is asur miderabbanan to use animals. Okay? Yosef ben Yochanan says, no problem. You could do it on Yom Tov. Why? Because according to him, you should do the shechita right after semicha. You should do the slaughter it right after you do leaning on it. You cannot do it before Yom Tov because you want to do shechita on Yom Tov. So therefore, it's okay. You could do it and no problem. That's the first discussion in this Mishnah. Second, zugot. Which is zugot means, if you know you learned before the Mishnayot of the Prikavot, there are certain generation that are two people talking to each other and arguing with each other. That's the first one. We're going to do second one, and second zug, that they argue with each other. Yehoshua ben Perachia omer shelo lismoch. You should not do the semicha. Nitai harbeli omer lismoch. Again, same machloket. You do it. Third zug, pair. Yehuda ben Tabai omer shelo lismoch. Shimon ben Shatach omer lismoch. Fourth zug, Shemaya omer lismoch. Abtalion omer shelo lismoch. Okay, that's so far. You have four pairs. They're arguing on the same matter. Okay, now we're gonna go to another zug, another pair. Hillel Menachem. These two people, Hillel and Menachem. Lo nechleku. They didn't have argument. He agreed with Hillel. Now, I have a good question for you. Just think about it. Where is Shammai? Usually Hillel and Shammai, they're arguing with each other. We have Menachem over here. He's going to come. Yeah.
Most of these people are from Pirkei.
Why they're from Prikavot?
No, most of them are.
Most of them are. You're right. Most of the Prikavot. Because each generation, they had their own zug. So that's why the mention from them in the Prikavot would be by the different generations.
They all were Rashi Sanhedrin.
Okay? It wasn't, one of them was Nasi, one other one the thing.
Here it doesn't mean they agree, it means they didn't even talk about it.
Oh, Hillel and Menachem?
Yeah, it seems.
No, Menachem didn't argue with Hillel.
But not they didn't argue because they agreed.
Yes, when you don't argue, it means you agree.
It doesn't mean maybe they just didn't talk about it.
No, it's not the husband and wife, they don't talk to each other. They talk to each other.
About this?
Okay.
It's a machloket between all the zukim, or every generation they just have like every generation
They had the machloket all the time, beside the Menachem and the Hillel.
They didn't write it down.
Huh?
They didn't write it down.
What? Who?
Mishnah.
They have machloket. What do I have to write down?
Why is there so many machlokets at once?
So what? What's the halacha you mean?
Yeah.
Each generation could be different. Depends what they decide.
Oh, they decided.
So let's see. Yasa Menachem. Now, Menachem wasn't Ab Bedin anymore. He got fired. I don't know what happened to him. He doesn't work anymore. He got retired. Nichnas Shammai. Shammai came, become Ab Bedin. Started to argue with the Hillel. Shammai Omer Shelo Lismoch. Hillel Omer Lismoch. Okay, fine. That's the machlok. Now,
And it says here, by the way, that Rambam says that Menachem never expressed his view, whether he agreed or didn't disagree. But then Meiri says actually he agreed with them.
okay, Baruch Hashem. So arguing me and you. Okay, so you are Rambam or Meiri. Harishonim, the beginning we mentioned, the Zugot, in the beginning we mentioned, which means the first one in the each pair we mentioned, Hayu Nesiim, they were Nesiim. Nesiim means the Rosh of the Sanhedrin. They had the Sanhedrin Gedolah, the head of it called Nasi. Okay? Ushniim Lahem, the second one who we mentioned the name, each Zug, each pair, Abedin. So Hillel was Nasi, Menachem was Abedin. Or after that, Shammai was the Abedin. Okay? That's what the question I think you had. Who are these people? There are these people that each of them, one is Nasi, one of them is Abedin. So we are going to go to the Gemara now.
One more good
Question or the
question.
wow.
Yeah. So previously when we were saying Acher, he was the teacher of Rabbi Meir.
Right.
And then it sounds like after Rabbi Meir, then Rabbi Yochanan went and stopped the fire from his grave. First the fires came up. So it sounds like in order, you have Acher, then you have Rabbi Meir, then you have Yochanan. Were they Tanaim or they were?
Who is Rabbi Akiva?
That's what I want to know.
I ask you.
He's a Tana. That's what I want to get.
Huh? It seems it was both. It seems like he learned from both, but it seems we see clearly in the Gemara that Rabbi Meir was learning from Acher. Could be, I don't know. Could be. So now we just mentioned the last part of the Mishnah. The first one in the pair is a Nasi, the second one is Abedi. Tanu Rabbanan. We know the Braita. Shelosha mizogot harishonim shamru shelo lismoch. The three people, the first ones, we mentioned their name that they said you should not do semicha on Yom Tov, which is Yossi ben Yoezer, Yehoshua ben Prachya, Yehuda ben Tabai. Ushnayim mizogot ha'acharim shamru lismoch, and two of people, which is Shemaiah and Hillel, that we mentioned about the second by the Zugot, by the prayers, Hayu Nesim. They were Nesim. Ushnim Lahem, and two of them that was mentioned second, Avot Bedi, Divrei Rabbi Meir. Okay, now we have to keep track that how it works. That it seems like it says like our Mishnah, if I'm not mistaken. But Chachamim they argue and they say Yehuda ben Tabai Ab Bedin Shimon ben Shatach Nasi. Okay, so basically the discussion: which one is a Nasi, which one is Ab Bedin? That's a question. So if you keep track and figure it out, it's gonna be. It seems like, if I'm not mistaken, the second one argues with our Mishnah. Now Gemara gonna bring a Braita about the story about Shimon ben Shatach and Yehuda ben Tabai, and we're gonna compare it. Is it Rabbi Meir or Chachamim? Let's see. Man Tana Lehad Tanu Rabbanan. Who is the Tana? Who is the one who wrote this Mishnah, which is in the Breita right now? Who wrote this Breita? Amar Rabbi Yehuda ben Tabai. Rabbi Yehuda ben Tabai said, Er'e ben Achama. Im lo harakti et zomem. So Er'e ben Achama means I make a shavua that we should not see the nechama of Sion, which means building of the Bet HaMikdash. Im lo, if not, you don't do like me, haragti et zomem. Why? What is et zomem? Who knows what is et zomem? You have done Gemara Makot before? Okay, you done Makot? Very nice. Who is et zomem?
Person who comes and says that someone's testimony not only was false, but that they lied, that he saw the opposite happen.
I don't think that's true.
I mean, so there was Adim, they testified, somebody became convicted on something, right?
Right. Okay. It could be true also, but the famous classic case of the Et Zomem Gemara Makot. Right. Let's say two people they come, they call them Shimon and Levi. Shimon and Levi they come and say, Yosef, he killed somebody. They put out the verdict in the court that they have to kill Yosef. Then we have Reuven and Yehuda. They came and they say, what are you talking about, Shimon and Levi? You were with us that time. How did you see that he killed somebody? So basically, they proved and testified the first cat, they call it, the group of the Edim, the witnesses, they were lying. So now what are we going to do with the first group of the Edim? We're going to punish them the same way that they want to punish the other guy. That's what he's saying. That you have to kill him. You have to kill him. Lehotzi miliban, to take it out from the machshava, from the lev, the heart of the shel sedukin, the sedukin. Who are the sedukin? Right? They only Torah bichtav, and they don't accept the Torah shebe'al peh. What they said, what they hold, how they read the Torah shebichtav, the written Torah. Shehayu omrim, they used to say, En edim zomemi neheragi ashiharek hanidon. They hold this halakha of edei zomemin only applies after you kill the Yosef. But if you have not killed Yosef yet, so we're not going to kill you, even though you get the false testimony, okay? Because the pasuk says, instead of him, you're going to get him. Doesn't instead of him. The pasuk says that velo tachos einecha nefesh benefesh. It says nefesh benefesh, okay? Which means it seems like just like he lost his life, you should kill the Edim too. So, therefore, Rabbi Yehuda ben Tabai says, he made the Shavua that I'm going to make sure in such a situation, they're going to kill the Edim Zomemi. Amar Shimon ben Shetach. Shimon ben Shetach argues, and he says, Er'e ben Echama, I make a Shavua that I'm not going to see the rebuilding of the Bet HaMikdash, Im lo shafachta dam nagi. Sha'aram ru chachamim edim zomemin neheragin ad shiyuzumu shenehem. Ve'en logi ashimu shenehem ve'en meshalim mamu ashimu shenehem. So now, Rabbi Shimon ben Shetach says, what are you doing? You killing somebody who does not deserve it. Which means, Shimon ben Shetach is telling him to Yehuda ben Tabai, there is another halacha. The only time you could kill the edim, the witnesses, if the two witnesses, the new ones, Reuven and Yehuda, they come and they say we saw Shimon and Levi with us yesterday in the restaurant at that time. Both of them. But if just they come say one of them was with us, we're not going to kill that one.
Here, if I understand correctly, they also say that Edim Zomimim, they don't get punished unless they got verdict based on their
Right.
edut.
Right.
If
They came after
the case is still going and then Yehuda and Reuven coming, so they not getting punished yet.
Right. The verdict is out that they're going to kill him.
And
Then they come, they say two of them with us, but the point is not like that right now. Point is the discussion between two Chachamim is the Edim Zomamim only works, you're going to punish them the same punishment
only for two.
if they say and they come and say two of them they were us with us. If they just came and say one of them with us, we're not going to punish. Of course, we're not going to kill the Yosef because one of them got cancelled. But the punishment only comes, he says, how can you say this, that you're going to kill this damn Naki? He doesn't deserve to get killed. Because the halacha is, Edim Zomemim, you should have testified, they have new Edim, new testimony, that both of them, they were away. They were at that time, they were lying. Miyad kiber alav Yehuda ben Tabash and Umura alacha ela mitne Shimon ben Shetach.
But
Right
in
away.
case that, let's say they say only one of them was, okay, now they decided to kill Yosef.
No, they didn't kill Yosef.
No, the trial over, they decided to kill Yosef, and then Reuven and Yehuda coming, and they say that only Shimon was with them.
Right.
Do they kill Shimon?
No.
No?
That's exactly what he's saying.
So nobody gets killed.
Nobody gets
So
killed.
does it get any punishment though?
It gets Malkut, I think.
For a
But
Duchekin?
I don't think it gets killed. No. So right away, Yehuda ben Tabai accepted halacha on himself, accepted on himself that he should not gonna say any halacha, rather in front of the Shimon ben Shetach, and he's gonna be, I'm gonna only say halacha unless he proves what I'm saying. See how the anava, how much the anava goes? Right away, he accepted, and he says, I'm not gonna say any more halacha unless Shimon ben Shetach is gonna approve it. So he goes further. Now, what we're gonna do with what happened to about this Ed, the one person that was supposed to get killed, according to beginning of the Yehuda ben Tabai. Kol yamav shel Yehuda ben Tabai haya mishtateach kibro shel oto haruk. What happened was, this scenario happened already, which means, was a scenario that Yehuda ben Tabai said, we have Edim Zomemin against one of them, and they killed that one Ed. And when Shimon ben Shetach told him that you are wrong, he did teshuvah. But what are you gonna do with the guy got killed already?
It's also something interesting here that it says that they killed him just to prove the Tzadokim wrong.
Right.
Is it a good enough reason to kill somebody? If they lo chayav
No,
mitzvah?
I know, but I don't think you would kill somebody just to prove the Tzadokim are wrong if you don't have a solid thing. If they understood from Torah, it shouldn't be that way. That's how they understood it. That's what what's his name? Yehuda ben Tabai understood the Torah, and from Torah Sheba'al.
So he thought that he's chayav mitzvah. He didn't know the halacha of the.
They killed him, and they killed him. So he would go to his kever, okay, to his grave, and ask for forgiveness. V'haya kolo nishma kesurim ham loma shekolo sheharuku. And basically, people, they thought the voice is coming from that the person who passed away. Amar lahem kolihu. Yehuda ben Tabai told people, this is my voice, not the person who passed away. Tedeu shelemachar hu met ven kolo nishma. I just want to tell you that I'm going to die tomorrow, and you're not going to hear any voice anymore. Because I'm going to die. I guess he knew he's going to die tomorrow. Very interesting. Okay. آمله ربی یخا برد ربال رواشی بدیر ما پیوسه پیسه. What kind of proof is this? That he said, tomorrow I'm going to die and you're not going to hear the voice anymore. To prove them that it's his voice. Maybe he asked the person who died that don't say anything anymore. Okay? Which means he's going to die, Yehuda ben Tabai, go to Shamayim, to the person who died already, the Ed, the witness, and ask him in Olam HaEmet, in Shamayim, okay, your voice shouldn't be heard anymore. What's going to prove, right? Or Bedina Tabe. Or maybe once Yehuda ben Tabai died, they took Yehuda ben Tabai to the judgment in Shamayim, and everything finished already, so he's not going to hear the voice of the Met, the first person that witnessed already. So Gemara goes, Maniha. Okay, that's finished. I don't think we're going to deal with it.
No.
They're not going to answer what kind of proof is this. It's just opinion. Okay. So Gemara asks a question. Maniha. Who is like this Braita? Okay? This Braita we mentioned. The Shimon ben Shetach and Yehuda ben Tabai. So, we said in the Braita that Yehuda ben Tabai, he accepted on himself, he always say halacha with the permission of Shimon ben Shetach. So therefore in front of him he's going to say it. If there's anything wrong, he's going to correct it. Im amrad bishlamam Rabbi Meir. If you want to tell me like Rabbi Meir, remember we had the machloket of Rabbi Meir and Chachamim. Which one are Nasi? Which one is Abedin? If you tell me this Braita is like Rabbi Meir, the Amar Shimon ben Shetach Abedin, the Shimon ben Shetach Abedin, Rabbi Yehuda ben Tabai Nasi, Hainu, this is what he said, the Ga More Halacha. So, therefore, the Yehuda ben Tabai says, Bifnei Shimon ben Shetach, I'm going to say only in front of Shetach. So, in order, if anything wrong, he's going to tell me. Elaim Amrat, if you want to tell me like the Rabbanan, like Chachamim, the Amri Yehuda ben Tabai Abedin, Shimon ben Shetach Nasi, is a question. Abedin bifnei Nasi, mi more halacha. Is it possible that to do such a thing? Nasi is not going to be the Rav of the Abedin.
Nasi is bigger than Abedin?
One second. How is it possible in the beginning, Yehuda ben Tabai, he said halacha in the front of Shimon ben Shetach without asking him? Why? Because if you tell me that Yehuda ben Tabai is Abedin and Shimon ben Shetach Nasi, and Nasi is higher, Shimon ben Shetach cannot, Yehuda ben Tabai cannot say the halacha in front of the Shimon ben Shetach. Gemara says, lo. That can't be. What does it mean? That what accepted Yehuda ben Tabai, the halacha, my qibel ala degamar leistarufe. The afilu istarufe nami lo mistarefna. What does it mean? So once Yehuda ben Tabai said, I'm not going to say halacha, it means for yachid, for himself. Kibel alav, on himself.
It says to join to Bedin.
What? John Bedin, he's not going to use him or use him?
He's not going to join Bedin.
Who's not going to join Bedin? Shimon Shatach?
No.
Or Yehuda ben Tabai?
Yehuda ben Tabai. He accepted upon himself.
According to Chachamim, Yehuda ben Tabai is up Bedin, right?
Yeah. So
And Shimon Shatach is Nasi.
he's above him.
Shimon Shatach is higher.
Yes.
Okay. So what's the answer now?
So they say that before Yehuda ben Tabai used to join Bedin when Shimon ben Shatach wasn't there. And now he accepted upon himself not to join to Bedin anymore, even when Shimon ben Shatach is not there.
So once again, he who joined the Bedin? Yehuda ben Tabai joined the Bedin before?
Yeah, that's what it says here. I don't quite understand what it means. If he was Av Bedin, why he cannot join Bedin? אפילו להצטרף לבן דין כשאין שמעון בן שטח יושב עמו לא מצטרף. אף על פי שקודם אותו מעשה היה נוהג להצטרף לבית דין בלא שמעון בן שטח, שהיה איסור להצטרף לבית דין אחר בירושלים.
So he was allowed to join other people in the Beit Din, even in front of the Nasi, but now on he decided not even do that anymore. Because he wanted to make sure what he's doing is the right thing. He's not saying the halakha. He's saying that I'm not going to join other people in the Beit Din to judge something unless Shimon ben Shatach is going to be there. So therefore, if I make a mistake, he's going to correct me.
When he says join, it's like join to their opinion?
No. I think join means that in the court you need a judge could join another judge.
Referee.
Huh?
Referee.
Three, right. Yeah, let's say you have three judges next to join each other to judge a case.
Referees.
Right. So that's what we say. That they would do it. He wouldn't join unless the Shimon ben Shatach says it's going to be okay. Okay. We're going to stop here, Bez Hashem. We're holding by Yotza Menachem. So we're going to talk with Hashem tomorrow. Okay.